Okay, so I'm going to go over some of Fang's options offensively. Uh, some people have been messaging me and asking, how do I deal with this crazy character? I don't know what to do in the corner. He's always plus. All his buttons are plus. So I want to help you guys deal with Fang's options, or at least recognize some of his options instead of just panicking when you don't know what's going on. You try to mash jab or just do things. So let's start with his anti-airs and his setups post anti-air. One setup I like to do personally is well, let's get our dummy to jump. All right, is heavy Rio Benda. Okay, let's make him stay. Okay, let's go with the no recovery. Let's try that again. He shouldn't be back rolling. Let me see. Oh, it's because of my input probably. Let me try that again. He shouldn't be back rolling. Okay. So you'll eat the setup. And I could do cross up or non cross up. So how do you avoid the situation? It's actually pretty simple. It's to back roll. Because if you back roll, it's a quick rise and you just completely avoid the mine. So let's do it so you guys could see what I mean. Actually, you know what? Let's just make him jump this way. It's probably easier. There you go. He completely avoided my setup. So that forces me as a Fang player to adjust my offense. And if I don't, then you've completely avoided that situation. Another option for me would be to, well, I could do that, but then I don't really have a follow-up. Is to do this, let me see. See, cross up or not. I'm either in the front or in the back. So you just have to guess. You have to block right. You have to block correctly. So that's pretty much it. I'm thinking of strategies if you do go for the back roll, the back recovery. I can't really do anything. You've just avoided my real benda. But I could also go for the EX real benda, and then go for 50-50. So I mean, I could vary my options. What was that? That was weird. Down in front, but it's kind of reactable if you ask me. I don't fall for that setup usually, so you guys should be able to react too. Okay, that's for his anti follow-ups. Now let's go with Well, let's continue with the mid-screen pressure. So anti-air follow-ups, setups are uh, one thing people struggle with, and many people don't even back roll. I'll do a first to 5 first to then they'll never back roll. So that's one. And then you'll see this often, right? You'll see this all day long, senpukaga all day long. How do you deal with it? Well, say uh, okay, let's make him block. Uh, okay, he has a 3-frame jab, but you guys know that F.A.N.G is plus, and he will be, I have priority. I can press buttons afterwards. So what do? You feel like you're stuck in this kind of pressure all day long. How do you deal with this? Well, worst case scenario, you're gonna get thrown because my block strings will just, if you could just, you just block that. Look at the distance I created. I'm gonna have to go for another Senpukaga. And eventually, you could make the right read and go for a crush counter or kind of anticipate. But if you're not sure, then there's no reason to press buttons. So you'll just have to hold that pressure. So in the upcoming patch, the throw tech, the jump back throw tech OS is gonna be removed. So how do you deal with F.A.N.G's throw? What if I throw you all day long? Then what do? Well, one good option is, and I've already set the dummy to do this, is to oh no, what am I doing? Guard recovery action, yes. Oh, see, my throw with. So that's one way to deal with Senpukaga, or you could just simply V-reversal. I'm not going to be able to punish your V-reversal. The recovery is, I mean, even if you V-reversal on the second hit, there's too much recovery for me to be able to do anything about it. So, but if I read your backdash, you're gonna eat that. You're gonna have to hold it. Oh well, that didn't work, but I'm sure I could find punishes. There. Okay, so that's how you deal with the carrot crouch. Just block. If you see that I'm going for too many throws, you could always backdash. But also be careful because the F.A.N.G player will adapt his offense. That's pretty much mid-screen. Oh, okay. Something else to keep in mind. If, say, you're stunned and I go for shenanigans, let's see. Well, setups. People like to call it shenanigans, but I mean, proper term would be setups. Let me see. Well, I don't want you to block anymore. Where are we? Okay, no more blocking. Okay. And on wake up, don't DP. Sure, go for that. Okay. And what's the recovery at? The recovery is back recovery. Let's leave it at no recovery for now. Okay, so if you're stunned or I get a clean jump in, I have quite a few options. Okay. Say I go for. Okay, let's go for this one. That's kind of tricky, right? But how about this? Even trickier, because it looks like I'm going to cross over to the other side, but I don't. See, if I go for neutral jump into this, I will stay on the same side. But if I go for a jump in, I'll actually cross over. You see, so I could do either or. But if I just do the neutral jump into this, I'm going to stay on the same side. So your best bet is to block. Don't block cross up. Block correctly. And if I go for the heavy command dash, I mean, you could see it. You know, you could react to that. So that's one tip. Always don't block cross up. If you see the two hit crouching heavy punch into the command dash, the medium command dash, it's a non-cross up. Then other options I have is, we went over this. Let's make him do a normal recovery. If you go for a back recovery, I have options too, off of the EX Rio Benda. See, like I stayed on the same side. My timing was off, but well, my timing has to be good for this area. I got it. Okay. But I could, if I decide to, I don't need to stay on the same side. See, I ended up on the other side. But my typing has to be right for that setup. I'm pretty sure I could also go for a standing heavy punch. It would work. If my timing is right. Get a meaty standing heavy punch. So for back roll, I could also do this. Pretty tricky because it looks like I am crossing over, but I'm not. I don't know why I'm having trouble with this. Wow. Well, let's see. It should work. Wow. Maybe it only works on 4-framers, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's not working on the color. So I think that's a 4-frame frame truck. Meaty. Yeah, it doesn't work on the Kali. Unless I do that. So it's still tricky, I end up on the same side. So those are some of the mid-screen setups. I mean, I could also go for the real Benda mine, but if you do back roll, you'll avoid it. Okay. So those are some of F.A.N.G's mid-screen offensive options and setups. What should I go for next? Let me see. Okay, something that people struggle against also is, say if I don't go for the Senfukaga, is the EX Nishikyu, which is the EX Fireball. That. So what do you do when you see this? F.A.N.G is going to close the distance, and then you could just go on offense. And sometimes it feels like there's no way out. Like he sticks to you, he's just there. So how do you deal with that? Well, To be honest with you, apart from Senpu Kaga, EX Nishikyu is one of the only like real ways to get for Fang to close the distance. But there are, I'd say, options. A priority would be V-reversal. Well, V-reversal or blocking. If you V-reversal this, um, unless I am baiting it, say if I go for a neutral jump, then and make your V-reversal, bait your V-reversal, then you're gonna get punished. But V-reversal could be a good option to reset things back to neutral. Blocking is a good option too without walking back. So you could see the command dash and you don't get mixed up. Also, blocking low is good as well, because if you don't block low, this is what will happen. I'll get a beefy combo if I see you walking back. See that? And then you get a beefy combo. Well, obviously I can't do that because I just wasted meter. But you guys get the point. What else can I do? Worst case scenario, you're just gonna have to hold the offense a little bit. But I did waste 1 meter. So sometimes you might get mixed up, 50-50. The command dash will either be medium one or heavy one, or sometimes you'll see Fangs go for light and then medium, or light and then light again. There are many options that Fang has, but as a Fang player, I'm telling you guys, block, don't walk back, block low, or else you're gonna eat the crouching light kick into the standing heavy kick. Also, sometimes, I mean, you could block the first Nishikyu and then jump back, right? Because there's a gap, especially if I do it from here. Or you see the Nishikyu coming, even before blocking, you could jump back, but you'll get tagged by the crouching heavy kick, the crouching sweep, and I could cancel it too. So something to keep in mind. Which leads to even more pressure, because combo enders with Sotodas, almost like all of his combo enders, I'd say, have follow-ups. So the pressure will continue if you don't block correctly. Or especially in this case, if you eat the sweep, I'm gonna get the cancel, and I'm gonna be in your face. So that's for the EX Nishikyu. Carb Crouch and Pukaga, I already covered that. Okay, let's go with the corner setups. Alright, corner setups. When people see this, they panic. They're like, oh no, well, you know what? You're in the corner, Fang gets rewarded, like almost every character gets rewarded, especially in Street Fighter V. If you're in the corner, you're pretty much trapped. But you still have options. I'd say you can't go wrong V-reversaling, because it feels like, when you're cornered, it feels like you don't know when to expect the mine. If you could read the mine and you're a Lara player, or most characters have options to go through the mine, or to use a normal that goes over the mine to stop the pressure. Say if I go for something like this, if you expect that the mine is coming, most characters could interrupt with a high normal, with a high hitbox and a high hurtbox, or else you can't press the button. But a good Fang player will vary his offense, so you'll end up stuck defending this. Okay, one thing that isn't a real, well, it is a real mix-up, but it's easy to defend. Is if you're, say you're blocking and you see this mine over here. This was weak 1 tech. That can be blocked. Just block the character, block cross up, right? Because F.A.N.G is crossing over. If you block F.A.N.G, you should be able to block the Rio Benda. You won't get hit by it. But now if I set this, I mean you don't know, I could press buttons and then eventually, I decide, I determine when I'm going to go for the command dash. So you just have to hold my offense. But if you're blocking and so on and so forth, and the pressure is just gonna continue. It just is never ending. Well, I wouldn't do a Sotoja like that, but pressure is just never ending. It feels like you could just reset the situation back to neutral by V-reversaling if I'm not expecting it, or get out of the corner like Rashid, Nash, Colin, Colleen. A lot of characters have options if I'm not expecting for you to get out of the corner like that, or to reset, the situation with a V-reversal. Also, jumping sometimes is an option. Like if I go for this, right, and I want to go for a command dash, if you do a neutral jump, you'll end up punishing me. In some situations, but it's a good bet. It's low risk and it's a good option. But if I see you neutral jumping, you're gonna get tagged. Or even you could even eat a critical art. Let's see if I see you neutral jumping, you could eat this. So it's good to consider your options. The F.A.N.G player can adapt to any of your defensive options, but the best bet is to block properly. Like I said, the normal into command dash that could be easily blocked. Sometimes you'll see F.A.N.G players go for stuff like, hold on, let's go with this one. Stuff like that, right? You could actually wake up and dash forward, or wake up and punish F.A.N.G. Yeah, that's not a real safe. Well, depending on the character. I'm generalizing right now, but most characters have answers to that. So just keep an eye out. See if what the F.A.N.G player is what the if the F.A.N.G player is actually safe given your meter, given the situation and the character you're using. So this could be punished from most characters. Now, when it comes to Sotoda into light command dash, that's a good mix-up too. But there's a telltale sign here. Let me see. Let's make him do a quick recovery. Whoops! No! I messed it up. Let's go to the corner. There. Okay. So let's say we go for this. See, I'll get the meaty standing light punch. Either side. So how can you tell where the F.A.N.G player is going to end up? Well, I'm going for the light command dash for both situations, but my combo ender is a different Sotoda for each. Each combo ender is different. See, for the F.A.N.G player to end up in the front, I'm using a light Sotoda. I'll trade at that time, but shouldn't trade. My input was not good. See? If I end it with a heavy Sotoja, I'll end up on the other side. So That's the light Sotoda. That's the heavy Sotoda. You can see he takes his time to go for the motion. That's how you could tell whether he's doing light Sotoda or a heavy Sotoda. Well, Fang has a lot of options in the corner. A lot of setups. You know, there's this one. Actually, I should just surprise you guys. At tournaments and stuff. I'm kind of giving away all my tricks. Well, the purpose is to help you guys, fight Fang correctly, and that will allow Fang players to improve as well with the meta and the adaptation. And if you guys adapt your defense, we should adapt our offense to make our offense work. It shouldn't be free. Okay, so let's do no recovery. See this setup. I messed up. This looks like a cross up. If I want it to be a non-cross up, I could control my neutral jump. See, Funk could do this. Funk. If I hold down forward heavy punch, I could slightly move him forward. So this will give the illusion that I'm crossing over to the other side. In this situation, I'm not. I'm still on the same side. So don't block cross up unless I purposely go to the other side, which I can. Then you'll have to eat the Rio Benda. So don't block cross up when you guys see this. Okay. Another setup I like to go for is not that one. Let me see. Whoops. What happened? That shouldn't have happened. Okay, it's kind of weird on the Kali. Let's see. There you go. See? And I'm in his face post second hit of that crouching heavy punch. I could go for a throw, I could go for an instant overhead, I have many options. So many people don't see this coming, and they'll just eat a throw. But yeah, this pretty much resets the situation for Funk, and I just continue my pressure. So it's pretty good. Good option. I could also go for the EX Rio Benda. I mean not Simple Sotoda. And you have to hold that defense. Or you have to hold the offense. You have to just guess. Because I could end up on either side. Now if you're playing Guile or Chun, well, you can make Guile whiff in some situations, but character like Chun, who has her EX spinning bird kick, she'll cover both sides. So my options as far as command dashes are kind of limited against characters like Chun. But most characters have to hold that offense. Let's go for a normal recovery. What am I doing? Yeah, I could actually go for a crouching medium kick. There we go. counter hit into a good combo. Now, if I go, you'll see many F.A.N.Gs will follow up with something post critical art. So how do you deal with that? Oh. So let's go for the critical art. Many F.A.N.Gs will place a real benda, and you'll get comboed afterwards if I see you getting hit by it. So I'd say just block. Another option would be, let me see. So you're gonna eat some sort of meaty post critical art. So you just have to guess. But it's good to know, right? Because if you press buttons thinking there's no meaty there, no, there's definitely meaty situations post critical art. If you end up in the corner, of course. There's also this. I actually made his 3-frame jab whiff. He stayed on that side. So you'll eat a 3-hit combo, but if your stun bar is halfway or 3/4, it's not enjoyable to get more stun stacked up. I could easily go for something like this, and one throw will do it, and it gets stunned. What else can I do? Let me see. Post critical art. Let me see if this works. I'm experimenting right now, guys. Let's say I'm already in V trigger. Okay. I messed up. Oh no, I was gonna go for this because I don't need to hold charge when I'm in V trigger mode. So I was gonna go for that for more offense, but for more pressure. But no, I mean I won't have any more meter, so I can't do an EX and the Shikyu. But either way, I could stay on the same side, or I could cross over to the other side. I could go for meaty options. I could go for a meaty Rio Benda. So it's for you guys to know that I have options when post critical art. So F.A.N.G is actually a little more dangerous than people think he is. If he has critical art, and he actually corner carries you to the corner. What else can I say that I don't see people punishing? Let me see. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, people know this, walk back shimmy into standing heavy kick. It's a F.A.N.G will get a good beefy damage because on counter hit we get standing heavy punch. Oh yes, one thing I did want to mention is after the patch, F.A.N.G's Senpu Kaga, which is the counter crouch kicks, will be a little more dangerous. Because I think, I'd have to test it out, that we'll get a standing heavy punch after this. Oh no, don't quote me on that. After crouching medium kick, we'll get a standing heavy punch. So we'll get more damage. If we get a counter hit on crouching medium kick, we'll get a standing heavy punch. Which means, see, as a combo ender, if we want to choose to end the combo with either light Sotoja or heavy Sotoja, only standing heavy punch can be cancelled into both. Like I can't do standing medium kick into heavy Sotoja. It won't work. But with the new patch, we could go for crouching medium kick, counter hit into standing heavy punch, and then we literally choose if we want to go for the light Sotoja or the heavy Sotoja, which means we could either end up on a quick rise. We could either end up in front or in the back, um, and you guys will just have to guess. And we'll get a meaty standing heavy punch, standing light punch. Sorry. So that's good for Funk. This crouching medium kick counter hit will give us more options in the corner. What else can I say? Obviously this. Whoops, I don't want to do that. Let's go back to mid-screen situation. This is pretty safe. I mean, we are minus on block, but unless the Sotoja comes out from here, then it's pretty much punishable. So keep an eye out for that too, but this Fang shouldn't be doing EX Sotoja from that distance. What is it? I think I have my frame data here. I think it's minus, what is it, minus 6? It's pretty punishable. EX Sotoja. Okay, it's minus 3. Yeah, it's minus 3. But if you're a 3-framer, then you can punish that. What else can I say? This is obviously minus on block. It's, what is it called? Nirenko, right? Yeah. Nirenko is minus 5. But obviously full, from here, you can't really punish it. But if I do it from here, it's very punishable. Also, I mean, like I mentioned before, we have meaty situations. From different combo enders, whether it's EX Real Benda, whether it's the Sotojas. Say if we go for light, Sotoja. I usually go for the light Sotoja. Okay. Say I got my meaty standing light punch off of a light command dash. Okay. Sometimes I will go for this. It doesn't work on a quick rise, but if you back roll, let's see. You'll eat a meaty crush counter, standing heavy punch. I could go for the heavy command dash and if you catch your pressing buttons. So obviously what I'm trying to say is, okay, be careful mashing jab or whatever on wake up, mashing buttons on wake up. But also keep in mind that I'm guessing when when I go for the crush counter. So if you block on wake up, let's see. Guard all, okay? So if you, no, actually, you know what? Let's go for this. First attack only. Set guard recovery to. That's a jab, right? Yeah, okay. So say you eat this. I have to figure out. Say you eat that. On wake up, okay, I said, let me make him block on wake up. Okay. See, I'm guessing, hey, how come he's not blocking on wake up? Hmm, just block on wake up. Okay, did this work? Hmm. Okay, I don't know why this isn't working. Guard all. Okay, okay, alright. So, in all reality, if I go for my heavy command dash into standing heavy punch, which will crush counter his immediate, if you go for the block on wake up, I can't. My turn's over here. My turn's over. You guys could press jab. I'm actually minus what standing heavy punch. I am -2. So I lost my turn. Unless I go for this and create some distance for myself. You know, or this. Which I could. But if I'm fishing for a crush counter, I wouldn't do that. I would, I would just end it with a standing heavy punch and then see what happens. So, yes, I'm mentioning this because a lot of people will just sit there and block and they'll get thrown. But obviously I can't, I lost my turn. Or they'll just let me continue pressuring them. So those are things to be aware of, to be more prepared. When you're facing the F.A.N.G, you don't need to panic. Sometimes you just have to guess right because you're gonna get mixed up. He has a lot of mix-ups. He has a lot of setups. I mean, people think he is the worst character in the game, but offensively, you gotta know how to defend F.A.N.G and try to get a good read. You have to play the game like you would facing any other character, or else you could get mowed down and completely blown up by a really good F.A.N.G player. So, what did we go? What did we mention? The Senpukagas. Okay, how to defend the Senpukaga. F.A.N.G anti-airs you, the follow-ups, the corner setups, what's easy to block and what isn't, and what's a real setup and what isn't. The EX Nishikyu, what was not coming up? How to defend it, or what should your priority be as far as options go, and what's low risk, high reward. Well, there's no reward. You're on defense in that case, but what else did I mention? Well, punishing F.A.N.G's buttons, that's minus. Like I mentioned, knowing when it's your turn and when F.A.N.G has ended his turn. How to defend his normals. A lot of his normals are plus, right? See, you can't press buttons. So that can be interrupted from max range, from close range. Anyway, I'm experimenting stuff, but no, it is my turn. In all reality, it's my turn. Don't press buttons. Unless, you're sure that I'm gonna go for, you're sure of the gaps. But I could go for strings that don't have any gaps in them. So what I was getting at is when you're blocking his normals, I'm pushing myself back. The distance is being created. So just block it. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope the segment, helps you guys approach this matchup a little better and to be aware and you know force your Fang opponent to adapt to your defense and